Hey guys, Chairman37X here, bringing you another video on the recent War Clicks overhaul, revamp update thingy. This time we're going to be focusing mostly on the Warzone, which was the thing that was changed most primarily. Last time we covered everything about the Bootcamp, how it's largely the same, but the privatizing adds a whole new depth to it. Also, I'd like to show this is recorded literally minutes after the last video, and you can see already 30 privatization points. I'm already multiplying my previous bonus almost by 5, so I can deploy very efficiently. But I'm not going to get into that right now. I want to get into the boot camp. The Warzone. So let's go ahead and hop over there. Okay. So first, I'm going to go over what is the same, like I did last time. So you got your ads down here, you got your tasks here, and shop here, same as in the boot camp. Up here also where the, like, I don't remember what it's called over there, but here's where the ranks are. So, see, I've got quite a ways to go in the Warzone. The Warzone was completely reset, 100% from the previous version. So a lot of people are still kind of working their way up. Of course, a lot of people working their way up way faster. The leader of our country right now is already up here, so that is I don't know how he does it. Drew 8X, he's a madman. I'll show you. I'll get to that in a minute when we get to the country invasion. Here we go. Oh yeah, I meant to go over this last time. You'll notice that this is reset. When you do a army privatization in the boot camp, it actually resets your rank, which I'm not sure I like that. I feel like it should go off of your all-time, like, global highest amount of power points. That's just how I personally think it should work. But that's just how they did it. I'm trying to think of the word. Implemented. There we go. How they implemented it. You get it gets reset. So that's why my rank is now much lower than it was in the last video. Over here we have our daily quest, which this is something that's actually slightly different, or daily missions. You now get to choose between two, which is nice, because there were some missions, I know for late game people, I saw this in the country chat a couple times, where basically if you got like the 10% increase on your score quest, like in the way late game, it was almost impossible to actually increase it by that much, so now you actually get to choose, so that's very unlikely to happen. 200% fuel. I pretty much just always go for the one with the higher rewards, because they're all pretty achievable. We'll go for that one. So I really like that. That's a nice little enhancement. You'll notice this whole battle screen looks completely different. We'll get to that in a minute, don't worry. Over here you have your achievements. Same as last time, just laid out in a much more kind of like cohesive and much easier to follow method. Some of the wording is a little bit strange. Like here, I've only 10 out of 16, but it says I've done everything. It's again, the update came out very recently, just like a few days ago. So they're still working a lot of things out. There's a few little oddities here and there, but of course you still get your help buttons on almost everything, which is nice. Let me look around here. I can go ahead and show off again my rank. Let's go ahead and look at the Warzone one. You can see DPC for some reason says is 1. Which is interesting because it's about 100k, as you can see down here. So that's interesting. In the previous version, I actually had the problem where it never said I had any investors in the boot camp. So always interesting little things like that. But yeah, again, it's all very minor stuff. Still got your settings and your this menu and all that stuff. But I guess now we're gonna go ahead and hop. Oh wait, no, hold on. Sorry. First, you'll notice that, like I mentioned last time, defend is no longer a thing you have to worry about, so you're not going to lose score just because you didn't do your daily defend, which is nice. It was kind of a strange thing that they added. You know, it was kind of interesting at the time, but it makes a lot of sense. I think that they decided to take that out. But pretty much everything else is still here. You still get your daily rewards, which, granted, are not very much compared to how many battle stars I have here. You see, I have 200 million plus battle stars. That gave me like 10,000 or something, but it's something. You still got your wheel. The wheel looks exactly the same, but now of course there's a little help text. It also makes this noise, which I don't think it did before. That's actually really unfortunate. I always wait to do the wheel until after I use up all my fuel, exactly for that reason. Oh, man. Oh, well, what can you do? The Warzone is a lot more competitive, and it's not something I focus on as much, so I'm not worried about it. Time challenge is still the same as ever. I just use an auto clicker for it. They said they want to do something with it. They haven't yet, but they're, you know, they still might in the future. Obviously, I'm not going to do that right now. And then we have our country invasion, which you see is largely the same. Actually, I think it's completely the same, just, you know, styled differently. Drew Theta X right here is the guy I was talking about. He is, you can see General 1, or, oh, Pero X is also, okay. Since the reset, these two actually have been going back and forth on who's the country leader, which is interesting. They're both General 1 status right now, I believe, so that's very interesting. We're not gonna actually do this right now, because, it's, you know, just 30 seconds of clicking. But, I believe this is all pretty much the same. Of course, all this was reset, but we managed to catch up pretty nicely to where we were before. And that leads us into the main thing itself. So you'll notice this all still works, same as it ever did before. You just click to destroy things. Pretty straightforward. But the interesting things come over here. So you'll notice the auto clicker is gone. The in-game auto clicker is gone, for one thing. You now have support power, which basically replaces it, but it works very differently, and it's a little more intuitive in some ways, and a little bit more ambiguous, or like a little bit more complicated in another, shall we say. So, you'll notice that the types of battles are now explicitly shown to you. It's a lot more important in this version. Actually, we're going to keep going here, because there's actually some, I'm just going to turn on auto clicker here, just because I want to be able to get through these and be able to show stuff off to you guys. I meant to set this up beforehand, so my apologies. But, you'll notice for support power, you have three different things: land, air, and sea. If you use the correct one for that area, you get, it does a lot more. It works otherwise, but not as much. Basically, what it does is it applies this damage value over here. Here, I can actually use it here for a bit. About every second it does that, and you get 120 seconds of support power each day, which is nice. It tells you exactly how long you get. And it's also one hit every second, so you know exactly how much damage you're going to be getting from your support power, which is nice. And this plus there is because, you see, if you do it in the right area, you get this bonus corresponding to, you know, you do air in an air battle and land in a land battle and whatnot. So it's pretty nice. It's not much, but you can upgrade it, is the key part. So let's go ahead and get an army set up here. This basic page is just the same stuff as you had before. I think they did a lot of rebalancing here. You'll notice I've actually been able to buy quite a lot of upgrades of some of the more expensive stuff. The cost increases really interest me, because they seem to jump around a lot. Like, sometimes it only increases by a little bit each time I buy something, and then other times it jumps up a ton. So, you can calculate the most efficient one with these. I don't spend that much time on it. So I just kind of get like this. The ones that are like way cheaper than the other ones are usually pretty efficient. So I don't dwell on it too much, really. Special is just fuel and double DPC, same as before. I haven't bought any fuel yet. I'm saving that for when I need to. It now shows your base DPC, which is nice. This is just taking everything into account. Whoops. And then this is your multiplier, which is factors in badges, 2x and 3x DPC. So you notice I get this, but then it's multiplied by 8.5. Okay, that is a weird thing I noticed. A little bug is that if you exit out these menus, it actually exits out the entire thingy there. So minor bug there. Again, they're working on this stuff. So they've been making a lot of patches and stuff since then. But here we have support units. This basically, I haven't done this much yet because I don't use the support a ton. But this basically helps to tie together Bootcamp and Warzone in a bit more of a meaningful way than just convert. So basically, you see these numbers here are actually the number of numbers of those vehicles that I have deployed from my Bootcamp. Every time you deploy, it actually adds that number of each of those vehicles to this count in your Warzone. And basically each one gives this much power and this much DPC per unit. So you can increase that. As you can see, if I upgrade this, then I get 0.11 per unit and 0.12 and so on. Again, I haven't done this much because the support, for me, at least so far, It's probably just because I haven't upgraded it. This all seems pretty complicated, I would say, and I just haven't really had the time to like figure out how best to utilize all this, because it's quite a lot. This was probably the biggest change from the previous version to this one. So you have your support power, determines how much damage each support will do. Oops, sorry, I keep hitting the pop filter. So I'm not sure actually what the difference between support power and support DPC is. I'm not completely sure what support power is this, but it seems to be also the damage it does. So maybe these give like an actual increase to your DPC as well. Let me see. Let me upgrade like. Oh, those are very expensive to upgrade. The better units obviously cost a lot more to actually do that with. Oh, I can't actually see my DPC. Yeah, so I think this is actually boosts your just flat DPC, which is pretty cool. I actually didn't really realize that, to be honest. So, yeah, I've still got a lot to learn about this. I definitely, now that I know that, I definitely think I'll upgrade these a lot more than I have been in the past. Like, if I do that, yeah, it gives a nice little boost to my DPC, which this is a bit more valuable to me than the support, personally. So I'm gonna go ahead and do a bit of that. So, there we go, a little bit of a DPC boost. And then we have PvP, which basically after, I'm actually going to start mashing through here while I describe it, because it happens every 5 battles, you get a special encounter. If it's a 5, like we have coming up here, 315, then it's going to be a boss. One more, which you have 30 seconds to beat. You notice it actually doesn't consume any fuel, which is nice. I'm just kind of switching between clicking and auto-clicking. I prefer to auto-click just so you guys don't hear the mouse clicking in the background. When I have to do a lot like that. It actually doesn't use fuel, which is interesting. And basically, it's just like a little hurdle for you to have to work through. I'm going to mash through here because I want to get to a PvP encounter. But, yeah, the bosses and PvP encounters are completely new to this version. They add a lot of variety, which I like quite a bit. I also like how the bosses don't consume fuel. Like I said, I hadn't realized that was the case at first. That's a really nice thing so that you can keep trying it without worrying about wasting all of your fuel trying to get through it. And then the PvP encounters are pretty interesting as well. Makes this nice little noise. And then you get a choice between 3 PvP opponents, which my numbers are not great because, like I said, I haven't been upgrading them very much. I believe these are related to how much you upgrade them here and also how much you upgrade them here. From each PvP, you get a PvP point, and you can use them to upgrade each of your vehicles so that they perform better in PvP scenarios. So basically, you want to pick the one that has the highest numbers, but still that are under yours. I have an advantage here everywhere except land, so let's hope I don't get a land battle. It randomly chooses a battle terrain. It's air, perfect. So basically, you just compete each individual unit against each other, and oh well, I guess only that one unit was good for me. Oh, okay, it's still going. Hold on. There we go. I'm not 100% sure how this works yet, I'll be honest, but basically usually I just skip simulation. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. It's, you know, it doesn't matter too much. If you win, you get a bunch of score, I think, depending on the strength of your opponent, and I mean, this is a lot of score considering like how much I have. It's like almost half a billion from that. But you get the PvP point either way, which is really important. I'm really glad that that's the case. So actually, you can see I actually haven't spent any PvP points yet. Again, I'm just not sure like what's the best thing to do efficiently, or like what's the best way to do things like this. So I sooner just hoard resources until I know what to do with them, basically. So that's just kind of how I always play games like this, especially, you know, when there's content that I don't fully understand. I figure it's usually better off just kind of keep holding on to them until I know better, basically. So we'll go ahead and do our time attack. There's a bit of overlapping music, but thankfully this clicking noise isn't as awful as it used to be. They actually even recommended, like officially, that you just use an auto clicker for those. So they acknowledge that the time challenges are not the greatest at the moment. But let me go ahead and do a bit of show off the support power a little bit. Again, I haven't upgraded it'll actually keep going, which is nice, but also this happens. Again, they're working on it. It's just some quirky little things like that sometimes. Go ahead and put a few into this just to make it a little bit better. You can see support power is actually going up quite a lot, so I'm actually going to go ahead and do that. And even the ones that aren't being utilized actually still contribute to your support power. It's just that I think the units, I'm thinking that boost might come directly from, so it might like apply all of the tank units twice. That's just kind of a guess, but that would be a pretty cool way to handle it, I think. If it is, again, I have no idea. Also, you could still get random drops. I feel like it's a little loud, so I'm actually gonna turn the sound off. Just on the OBS window, it's the audio levels get really high when I start doing this, so hopefully it hasn't been too loud for you guys. Sorry in advance if it has been. But I just want to see if I can get any random drops. Random drops still occur. They were pretty generous for a long time. It seems like maybe as you get higher, you get less drops. Not sure, but either way, I've been able to keep up on gold very well from all the different sources in-game. So it's not a huge deal. You can still get anywhere from like 2 to 5 gold typically is like an average drop. You can also get 10, and you can get 100. I've gotten 100 twice in total, one from this version and one from the previous version. And then fuel cans are a little bit less weird. Before, they used to give, sometimes they just give astronomically huge amounts of fuel, or sometimes they'd give like 0.0001 fuel or something. It was just some of the most wild stuff. I got negative fuel sometimes. It was really wild, but now it's a lot more straightforward. You get like anywhere from like, I've seen like 1 to 8 fuel from each can, just straight up, just adds 8 or whatever to this, and you know, you're done. No, you don't get any weird fractions anymore, which is kind of nice. It's a little more straightforward. But I think that is just about everything. It didn't take quite as long as I was expecting. I kind of sped through a lot of it, so hopefully I was pretty clear in everything that I talked about. But yeah, I think go ahead and turn the sound back on here. Oh, right, I didn't save settings before, so actually the sound should have still been on there. That was a little odd. But yeah, I think we're gonna go ahead and end it off there. So thank you guys very much for watching. If you like this video, please like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Oh, I don't have any fuel. I don't think doing this uses fuel. Hold on, let me actually check this. Let me do a little bit of checking here. So let me buy some fuel. Turn this on. Oh, that's interesting. Okay, so probably a bug, but if you don't have enough fuel to attack this at all, it actually won't let you use support, even though support actually doesn't use any fuel. That's an important note. I forgot to mention that. Support doesn't use fuel at all, which is really nice. So, I would definitely consider this whole system a lot better than the auto clicker system they had before. It's a lot more interesting, and yeah, I like it quite a bit. That was a really good change. I like most everything with what they did with the Warzone in the patch. So, I'm pretty happy with that. But yeah, please like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. By now I should have had the big announcement. I'm not going to say it yet, just in case, but if you're interested in what I'm talking about, check the end slate. I should have a link to that video in the end slate to this video, so you can go check that out, and let me know what you guys think about that video in the comments over there. But yeah, and also check the playlist where I have all the other War Clicks videos and all the future War Clicks videos I plan on doing, because it's a very fun game, and I'm thinking of maybe I was thinking of doing a gold spending guide type thing in the previous version, but it's been simplified a lot, so I'm not really sure how necessary that is anymore, to be honest. Like, yeah, I don't know. But if that's something you guys are interested in, or if there's anything else you guys want me to cover more in depth about this game or anything like that, let me know. And also, I would really appreciate it if you guys use my referral link in the description. It helps me out a lot here. As you can see, I get a lot of bonus, especially this 300 gold. It helps out a lot. You only have to get to... I mean, even if you use it at all, I still appreciate it. But as you level up, I basically get cool perks. And I don't know if you guys get perks either, to be honest. I don't think so, but you might. I'm not sure. But if you're even remotely interested in the game, I recommend you check it out. Now is a great time to try it out because, you know, the big updates. So a lot of people were forced to start fresh in the Warzone. So it's a good a time as any to get started into the game. So yeah, thank you guys very much for watching, and I will see you guys later.